All right, today we're doing a radiator. This is a 2005 Dodge Dakota with the 3.7 V6, and it's real easy on this radiator. There is a couple things that I do want to mention. We got two 10mm bolts down the bottom of the condenser, and then two right below the mounting bolts for the radiator itself. That gets loosened up, then you got to get the there's a petcock down at the bottom, and what that does is allows you to drain it without taking the hose off and making a big mess. That's the actual name, is a petcock, and it is right there at the very bottom, almost in the middle. It's got a little spade coming out, and you just loosen that up until it starts flowing out. Then you take the radiator cap off, and it basically no longer creates a vacuum and allows it to disperse into your pan. Then while you're down there, go ahead and take the seat clips. These little clips here off of the transmission cooler line. The new radiators generally come with them. You can use just a 90-degree pick and it'll come out. Then you kind of work them out. Same way with the lower radiator hose. You get that spring clamp, get that off. Once the coolant's drained all the way, then you can take that lower hose off. Get the upper hose off. 13mm holds the top of the fan shroud on. Then there's two basically tabs that seats the fan shroud to the radiator. Once that comes off, it'll slide back to the back. The 10mm bolts, they're pretty long. They're about that long. 10mm bolts that secure the radiator in place. Then the radiator will just come out and put the new one in, put everything back in reverse order. But I'll show you the video in time lapse. Once you get it all put back together, coolant added into it, squeeze the top of the hose. You're gonna make a little bit of a mess, but that'll, do it several times. That way there's any trapped air pockets will help get some of that out by forcing the water or coolant through. We use 50/50 here, so we buy the full strength in the gallons and then thin it out with water. Now we're on our heat cycle right now, so I've got everything filled up, started it up, made sure that the radiator was still full. Put the cap on. Now we're just going to get it through the heat cycle until that upper radiator hose starts to get warm, or you can watch your temperature gauge. Once it gets warm, shut it off and walk away for a half hour, 45 minutes. That way you have time to let that pressure calm down in there. Otherwise you run the risk, if you take that off, that thing's under pressure and you're talking 200 degree coolant, and that does burn. You can get severely burned on that. So walk away for at least a half hour. Then you can reach over to grab that radiator hose. If it's still under pressure, you're still gonna have to wait, unless you know what you're doing. I would advise to wait till it loses all of its pressure. Then you can go back and top off as needed. We do 2 or 3 heat cycles, depending on the vehicle. This one I'll do 2 heat cycles, so I'll get it up to operating temperature, shut it down, walk away, do another job, and once I get 90% of the pressure away, I'll pop the cap off real slowly and top it off, put the cap back on, and run it again, and then let it cool off, and then call the customer and let them know it's ready. So that's the process of this radiator. So we'll go ahead and get you in time lapse and show you the process.